What a day. Guys, what a day. Just a couple of hours ago this morning, I was shocking you a bit with this futures, guys, okay? S&P 500 minus 2.73%, Dow futures minus 3.2%, and then just couple of hours later, you see the S&P 500 plus 1% and the Dow Jones plus 0.85%. Let's have a look where we are now. This is the wrong button. Let me just open the real time, and as you can see, we are just a couple of minutes away from closing the market at positive. But as you can see, and this, I want to start the stream with something that I try to tell a couple of times here, specifically in the last couple of streams and vlogs as well. The market is now so dependent on stimulus and Fed money that all other news almost doesn't matter at all, guys, okay? If this guy is unleashed, he is just producing to make the stocks and stock market race. And I don't know if you saw it this time, but actually, the Fed again announced something like this, which we will talk about just when the market went negative. So you can see the tendency of the Fed to unleash this kind of bombs out there is when the market going down, guys, okay? So the S&P plus 0.44%. The Dow Jones is neutral, and the Nasdaq plus 1%, all three indexes going green. So I think that, this is just, and this is something that no technical analysis or whatsoever can foresee, guys, okay? This is something that is pure logic and very simple, guys, right? We're just looking, okay, what's going on in the market? The market is waiting now for the recovery, and we have also some breaking news, really breaking news coming the next couple of days from pharma and other health institutions. The top one could be the Oxford studies that will come out with some major news on vaccine, okay? This is around this time expected, so we can see that, with such a news, again, that something is coming this year or beginning next year as a vaccine, then all this bad news for second wave, health crisis, and so on will totally go away. And big winners will be, of course, the stocks like Carnival. It will be like Lufthansa, airlines, all the travel stocks, Booking.com. And this will be the most important thing to watch, guys. So don't miss that. Make sure to really, either follow this channel and smash that like and subscribe button, or just follow the news, because this will be super important. So this said, let me know in the comments where you are watching from, and let me see what comments we have. So we have, people are saying it's like Christmas going from red to green. That's absolutely right. We have Luxembourg, we have Germany, we have Atlanta. Today is, by the way, Beyond Meat Monday, so make sure after this live stream to go on the channel page and check out the today's episode of Beyond Meat Monday, which will be super interesting. Then we have Paramount, California as well. So we have Corby, UK. We have Romania, New York City. So again, totally international, guys. New York City, New Zealand, Stuttgart. Everyone is on board today. Denver as well. So let's have a look into what we will talk about today. So this is something that, again, there is something that you need to apply to the markets, which is, normal human logic. Apparently, I make here the screenshot at the lowest point today and the highest point for the indexes. But this is absolutely crazy. This is approximately 3.5% difference in the S&P 500 and 4% difference in the Dow Jones from lowest to highest point. This is something that you don't see that often, guys. Okay, so don't take this for granted. Then this is the big reason for it. So the Fed says it is going to start buying individual corporate bonds. Now you might think that you heard something similar already. So why is this news? Well, the Fed started to buy corporate bonds ETFs or indexes, or bundled products. Okay, so this is the easiest, or the most easiest way to describe it is like baskets. Okay, so you have a basket here, like I got here, let's say Subscribe, that you put all these corporate bonds inside, and then they just buy the basket, and they having then a bunch of corporate bonds. What is a corporate bond? We will talk about in a minute, but this is very important to understand it now, to even more stimulate the stock market and to ensure that companies will not get crashed, is that they will choose now separate individual corporate bonds, which is absolutely genial, because I believe that they will therefore save companies like Boeing or other companies that maybe get into some trouble, and then they can say, oh, you know what, we're just buying corporate bonds. Now, corporate bonds is something that I prepared something for you guys. This is something that I found quite interesting, and this explains it a lot. So bonds are actually different than stocks. Both instruments are issued by companies, but stocks are more into the equity ownership, and bonds are more into the as a debt instrument. So actually you will get a guaranteed interest, and also when something happens with the company, those bonds holders are more, let's say, secured. So if you are, for example, want to borrow Tesla your money, you will get a certain amount of interest on this rates, yeah? And as more these companies are getting, let's say, not sure, or their business is somehow affected, like obviously many people now see with their stocks like travel stocks going forward, then you call these bonds that have a very high interest rate, because obviously they are getting into the junk bonds section, and then you basically have a very high risk that this bond might get bust. Now, usually you call them junk bonds. Okay, this is very, very easy and understandable. But now they even changed the name of the bonds that really got hit by the truck or by the bus, which changed to, and now hold your seats, fallen angel bonds. Can you imagine that the Fed will announce, people, don't worry, the US governments will not buy, it will buy the very best fallen angel bonds, guys. Okay? Those are the fallen American angels. Okay? So you can see which psychological tricks the US government and other gun institutions are doing just to feel us much better, to ensure us, because as you know, the most important thing that drives the market down are insecurities or uncertainty, right? So therefore, this kind of small tricks are quite interesting. And, I believe that this is something that we should do definitely watch. And as I said, guys, as soon this environment doesn't change, this stock market will go further up, and you should buy those dips. As you can see, the dips can just be a couple of hours. You have just a couple of hours of window, and we will go into some stocks that gained or lost a little bit today. We are about still plus a little bit better than when we started the stream, but you can see that the market went definitely up, and on this news that there's more money coming from the Fed to save some companies out there, then definitely it's absolutely a no-brainer, right, to invest. It's such an impressive thing that the Federal Reserve don't see any red line to cross. They do everything possible, guys, to make this all work. So I think this is quite interesting to understand. And now let's have a look into something else. I want to make sure also that you follow very important people on the stock market, which I believe, I will more and more show you also whom I'm following, just to get a little bit of, different perspective, some guys that are really, really important. And I really like this guy. This guy names is Mohammed El Irian. You might know him from the TV. He is chief investment advisor at the Allianz. And he actually was very, very good during the financial crisis, got really, really, let's say, more and more credit because he just released such a impressive analysis and opinions about the markets and so on. And he also now goes on a little bit about what I also preached the last couple of weeks. The market is focused on news, guys, okay? No fundamentals, just news, guys. So I believe that this is important to understand. You have to really be glued to the TV just to make sure to not miss on the next news, or glued to my content. It's the same. Even you get the Denny filter on all the news. Now I have another guy that you should follow here, my colleague, another YouTuber with his two colleagues, Dave and Jordan. Chris Camillo, he wrote also a very interesting book, Laughing on Wall Street, and he is also saying, he's more into the camp when there is a second wave, then we should definitely all hedge our portfolios. And he is watching very, very closely the areas, Texas, California, Florida, and Arizona, for upticking cases. And as we speak about that, let's have a look if something changed on that, because this is something that we almost watched in the last couple of streams, and I want have you obviously on the latest news in terms of cases. So let's have a look. So the most important are here Arizona. So as you can see, the overall trend is definitely going up. The same applies to California as well as to Florida, and as well as Texas. And now in the next couple of days, we should see how really the effect on the protests actually had on this coming together of so many masses of people, guys. This will be very important to watch. Moreover, he is actually claiming, which is very good here, Google Trends, that people are Googling more and more about those tests. And here you see there is a definitely uptrend in whole US, but if you going by, let's say, Texas, you see the trend is even bigger. Yeah. The same applies if you go to Arizona. The same applies to California. As you can see, it's definitely upticking right now. So this is also a small but very important indicator to see, okay, where is the second wave going? But, you know, there will be very, very interesting measures once something like this will further pop out, guys. You will hear it first of all. But second of all, I want to see how fast the Fed will jump in with some tools. They said in many interviews and meetings that they are having much more tools to steer against that. So I'm very curious to see what will happen there. Moreover, I want to talk about a very interesting part here. You know, we talked about, I think, just a couple of days ago, but now this is the burner. Hertz says stockholder will likely lose all their money as it sells more stock. This is crazy, guys. This is something I said from the very beginning, stay away. And I want to directly jump into the stock, what the stock and how it's reacted to this kind of news when the company finally said, you know, what will happen. So there's some kind of realization here. And look at that. The stock market just punished all those people that said they will be millionaire because they are investing into a bankrupt company. And you see, this is the so dangerous game of playing this thing. You know, we are having here minus 33%, and most probably the next day is even more. This is pure gambling, guys. This is so much gambling, guys, and therefore don't do this kind of things. Don't rush just because of small percentage into those trades. You know, I said it a couple of times. I did a huge vlog about that those companies will crash. Let's have a look what Nikola is doing. Nikola is doing a little bit better, but I think the last days was also quite volatile. From 84, guys, there was people paying $88 per share. Now we have barely 70. So also here, huge decline that you unfortunately had to take if you are invested on the 9th of June. So this is the daily craziness from the stock market. So let me have a look what else I had prepared that I wanted to show you guys. Okay, that was it. I want to have a look how the markets finally ended. And we are closing the day at the Dow Jones plus 0.62%, the S&P 0.81%, the Nasdaq positive 1.22%, and the S&P 500 with 81 percentage point positive, guys. So this is very interesting. I'm super excited what will be the numbers tomorrow on another day. If you haven't already, make sure to follow me also on Instagram, Wolf of Dubai Danny, where I'm posting also sometimes a little bit behind the scenes, which is quite interesting. And I want to have a look into the chats right now, guys. Let me have a look what you guys want to know or what you guys are talking about. So Beyond Meat is jumping up. Obviously, it's Beyond Meat Mondays, right? Then Raphael says space down 8%. Is it by today or is it? I just saw it was also positive when I just watched it the next days, the last couple of minutes. No, we are actually positive today on Virgin Galactic. And again, guys, this stock will not really move just with the regular market a little bit up and down, but there are news needed to really jump the needle for this one. So I'm hoping that in the next couple of days we hear some updates. We know, as we know that there was a test flight with a media flight or with a media plane, so some new footage and story there definitely to come. Otherwise, for me it can stay a little bit lower like that or even lower, because I want to build up over time this position much bigger. Let us see what else is important for you guys. So people even from South Africa watching, so highly appreciated, guys. So people are saying everything working as normal in Portugal now, so this is quite interesting. I think more and more people are getting used to it and want to be in the normal, so they actually force to be in the normal. They go out, they go in the restaurants and so on and so forth. So I believe that the people are actually pushing also the boundaries and also the courage to go more outside, to spend $1 or $2, and obviously this helps the whole economy to get to a new normal. People are getting totally crazy under lockdown. So what else do we have here? No more mask needed in Austria. So this is quite interesting as well. And there's people from Latvia as well. Fantastic. So I think that's a wrap up, guys. Don't forget the thumb up button. Thank you very much for tuning in, and I see you as usual tomorrow with a brand new vlog here, with a brand new live stream and also breaking news to give you the best outlook on the overall market. Thank you very much for watching, and I see you just in a couple of hours. Thank you. Take care. Good day. Good night.